Hello everybody, welcome back to High Ground. My name is Tanner, and today I just wanted to do a quick video talking about one match to watch from each group at 6 Invitational 2025 for Rainbow Six Siege. So here we have the schedule. The matches are broken up over the course of 5 days, but again, I don't want to highlight one match per day. I could do that, but I found that the way things work out, it's maybe a little bit more interesting to do one per group. So I haven't even looked at which of these matches fall on which day. You can come back and reference that, but feel free to pause here if you're curious about the schedule. This is in Eastern time, the time zone of Boston, where the 6th Invitational is located. So let's go over to the groups here. Okay, Group A, B, C, and D. We'll go in order. No reason not to. So Unwanted, Liquid, M80, Joel, and G2. Which is the match to look out for here? So Liquid versus G2, I think it's really close. This is a really storied rivalry. These two orgs have played, I mean, maybe more than any other org. I'd have to fact check that, but they've played quite a lot. This is a rematch of the Montreal Major, of the Charlotte Major, of last SI, and multiple other locations, and it's usually pretty close. It's hard to predict who will come out on top, and I think Liquid is definitely the favorite, but I could see G2 maybe pulling this off. We'll have to see. It's always interesting to see Alamau go up against other Brazilians. Loira now also on G2 going up against Liquid. So we'll see how that one plays out, but that's not the one I want to highlight. The one I want to talk about, and I think this one's pretty obvious, Unwanted versus M80. M80 sort of stole. Maybe that's not how it literally happened, but from the outside looking in, it just sort of looks like they did steal Diffuser and Gunner from former Cloud9 Beast Coast, because M80 acquired Cloud9 or whatever it is. I don't know the exact details. But anyways, Diffuser and Gunner over on M80. Also, Packer on M80, Adam over on Unwanted. They've teamed on Wildcard. They teamed on CL4L, and Adam was supposed to go to M80 until the whole Diffuser Gunner thing happened. So now we get to see Packer against Adam, and we get to see Gunner and Diffuser up against Hot and Cold, Spirits, and Gaveni. So 2 players on one team, 3 players on the other. All 5 of them played together when they won the Montreal Major about 9 months ago. So certainly the one to watch out for is Unwanted versus M80 for Group A. For Group B, a lot of great matchups here, but I think one is pretty clearly the one to look out for. FaZe versus Furia. These are both Brazilian teams, but that's not the reason it's the matchup. It is because, of course, these were the 2 teams in the grand final of the last 6th Invitational. The exact same rosters, not the exact same orgs, because the team now on Furia, they were representing W7M at the time, but all of the same players. FaZe, I think, looks like the stronger team coming into it, but of course, Furia came out on top when they met in that grand final, so that's the one to look out for. Very exciting to see a grand final rematch in groups. Maybe you're not a big fan of it, but I think it's nice that we are at least guaranteed to see that rematch at 6th Invitational. For Group C, this is maybe the least interesting one because I think, as a lot of people have pointed out, including myself, it seems like BDS should just steamroll this group. We'll see if they maybe have a little bit more trouble, but the one to look out for, I would say, is BDS versus Talon, because this is a rematch of a match that happened this year at a major where Talon beat BDS at I believe it was the Montreal Major. Talon, against all odds, beat BDS, and that's really one of this org's slash team. The team has changed quite a bit, but this org, at the very least, their claim to fame is beating BDS. In that matchup, it feels like it's still going to be a David versus Goliath once again, even though Talon won last time, but who knows, maybe they can pull it off again. BDS versus Talon, I would say, is the matchup to watch out for in Group C. And then finally in Group D, some solid matchups here as well. W7M, Space Station, and Virtus Pro. I think all of the matches between any 2 of those 3 teams should be really good. Space Station versus Virtus Pro, I believe they were Empire back then, but they had a really exciting match at a previous major where Fultz pulled off like a 1v4 clutch in the first round, and then Rampy pulled off like a 1v5, maybe the craziest clutch this game has ever seen. Maybe between that and the Virtue toe shot clutch, maybe there's one I'm forgetting about, but an absolutely insane clutch. Anyways, that's not the matchup I want to really highlight. W7M versus Virtus Pro is a rematch of the semifinals of the last major. Had Virtus Pro won this, we would have certainly had a different victor at the Montreal Major, because it would have been Virtus Pro against BDS, and ultimately it was W7M that came out on top. So pretty close matchup. Some people say, had the map ban phase gone a little bit differently, that Virtus Pro may have been the victor, but this should be a really exciting one because, again, that was a top 4 matchup at the most recent major. Yeah, I think those are the matchups to watch out for. They're generally pretty storyline focused. I could have just picked the teams that most people see as the top 2 teams in each group, although that is pretty nebulous and hard to call. But I wanted to highlight a little bit more storyline focused matchups. So if you can try to prioritize watching those, maybe you can watch them back, but it's certainly a lot more fun to watch the games live. Okay, that's going to do it for me. If you think any other matchups beat out the ones I chose, feel free to let me know, and I will catch you guys next time.